we're going to return all the way back to the question of body humor. So to those who might feel a little uncomfortable with, and you'll hear the explanations. You talked about him growing up in this sort of theologically charged atmosphere, but then he had to make a living, and of course he had to have the common people wanting to fill his name, and they would have liked the off-color humor and so on. But if you're a young Christian person wanting to keep yourself and your mind more or less pure and so on, and it just sort of makes you uncomfortable, or it feels like it lessens the experience of who's supposed to be a great writer and thinker for you. What would you say to the young Christian who's uncomfortable with the bodiness of Shakespeare?
I would say when things have gotten really bad in your culture, mirth goes out the window, and you can't have this because you don't have what's bawdy now. You have what's sleazy, raunchy, edgy, harsh, mirthless.
Yeah.
But since the presumption, even if people fell afoul of it, okay, the presumption is of innocence and the moral law. You're not married, you shouldn't be doing that there. With that presumption in place, you have space cleared out for some merrymaking. So, for instance, at the end of The Merchant of Venice, it's not a Shylock scene. It's a scene with two young married couples, okay? And at one point, the whole play has been about, wagering, risking everything, and so on. And Graziano, who's been kind of a live wire throughout, he's Bassanio's the principal male character in the play. He wins the hand of Portia. It's their marriage that's at the center of the play. Actually, it's three young married couples, but Bassanio and Portia, and Graziano is the name of his friend. And his friend is full of mirth and is a little bit of a live wire and maybe sometimes not too polite. But we like him, okay? I mean, he's not got this great moral vision, but we like him.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do anything bad in the play, right? And the name suggests grace, Graziano.
Oh, yeah.
And Bassanio has said to him, Graziano says, "Can I come with you when you woo Portia at Belmont?" And Bassanio says, "Hey." Graziano, "Yeah, you can come with me." Okay, you can come with me. But you gotta behave yourself, Graziano. When we're together here, then it's okay. But he says, "I'll tell you what, I will swear only every other word." And no, I'll be just like a church mouse. And he does, in fact, behave himself. But now, of course, they're married and they're merrymaking, and Graziano says, "Hey, we'll lay a wager on them at 10 ducats for the first who gets the first son."
Yeah.
And Nerissa, his young wife, says, "What? And stake down?" Right? Put your stake down on the table. Stake down. Graziano says, "Stake down, you'll never win that bet." Right? And this is fine.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But it's a sort of bumptious, I call it mirth, joy's hillbilly cousin.
Right.
So this is kind of like
no offense to the hillbillies out there.
A good hillbilly moment.
Yeah.
Venice style.
So a distinction between sleaziness and bawdiness, always.
Yeah.
And it's precisely in cultures that have lost the sacred and wonder and so on, that all you have is sleaziness. Whereas in cultures that can worship and that can do have objective
and where the
truth
presumption
and
is that boys and girls do not do certain things, that means that they can enjoy a lot of fun together.
Yeah.
And that's a fact. That's a fact. All you need to do is watch how people behave before the sexual revolution. They give themselves away in their body language and their attitude towards people of the opposite sex. You see it in like game show, What's My Line? My wife and I watch all the time. Some good-looking young guy comes up as a contestant, and Arlene Francis, who is very happily married, says, she'll make a comment, and the man will make a comment, a beautiful woman, and it's all part of the banter.
Right.
It's part of the fun
Yeah.
of being boys and girls.
Yeah.
That fun is almost entirely obliterated in our society right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, in our desire to stay pure, as it were, we've got to also not take ourselves too seriously. I think C.S. Lewis said this about the bedroom, but
that's right. He said it in the screw tape letters too.
That's right, in the screw tape letters. So lest we become Angelos ourselves, so to speak.
Yeah, it's no fun being Angelo.
Yeah.
I don't think Italians have too much problem with this, but it would be good if Christians generally understood the distinction and remembered that you can have purity and mirth together.
Yeah.
And it's those other people now who don't believe in purity. They have no fun. They may have excitement sometimes, and not even much of that anymore, but they're not having fun. They don't actually enjoy. I mean, when was the last time you saw, outside of certain Christian enclaves, when was the last time you saw a boy and a girl holding hands? Where are the boys and girls at your typical high school teasing each other in a flirtatious but innocent way? Where is it? It's all been destroyed by the sexual revolution.
But you can find it in Shakespeare.
Oh, you can find it all over the place in Shakespeare. Yeah. Why should it even be male or female if not for the fun that there's this other sex over there?
Yeah.
Even if you're not married, there's banter, there's appreciation, there's gratitude.
Yeah.
There's annoyance sometimes and misunderstandings, sure. But that's, hey, what are you going to do? We live, we're people, we're flawed, and we live with each other. But there's fun.
Yeah.
And there's no fun out there. Not much fun out there, but there's a lot of fun in Shakespeare.
And here.